Good day, everyone. Another presentation of yours truly will be aired today. Let me start with this. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength by Sigmund Freud. My topic is about psychology of thinking, reasoning, and problem solving. But first, let me greet our respectful and adorable MAED Professor, Madam Nerissa M. Beatriz, fellow classmates, mabiyaya at mapagpalang araw, magandang buhay sa ating lahat. I am Jenny Reyes Literal, a secondary school teacher to a guidance counselor designate of Gonzalo Aler National High School, Kapalonga, Camarines Norte. And my co-presenter is Ma'am Crystal May R. Persia, Grade 1 Faculty in charge of Greatland School of San Pedro, Laguna. Let me start with the definition of terms: psychology, thinking, reasoning, and problem solving. These terms will be shown in my topic and presented in the PowerPoint presentation. So when we hear the word psychology, what comes to our mind? So psychology is the science of mind and behavior. So it is defined as the scientific study of mind and behavior. Another is thinking. Thinking is the activity of human reason as a process of strengthening the relationship between stimulus and response. So critical thinking is the analysis of available facts, evidence, observations, and arguments to form a judgment. Next is thinking. It is a reasonable working of various views with the knowledge that has been stored in the mind long before the emergence of new knowledge. So critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and for evaluating information. Thinking also can be interpreted to remember something and question whether there is a relationship between what is intended. It is also a cognitive behavior in which ideas, image, mental representations, and other such hypothetical elements of thought are experienced or manipulated. Let us come now the processes of thought are first, understanding the formation. In understanding the formation, we have the analysis of the characteristics of similar objects. These objects, we look at the elements by one. Another is comparison. Compare the features to be found traits which are the same, which is not the same, which is always there, and which is not the same, which is always there, and which ones do not always exist, were the essential and which are not essential. Next is abstraction. That is set aside, dispose, traits that are not essential capturing the essential characteristics. Another process of thought is opinion formation. In opinion formation is to put the relationship between two terms or more. So we have affirmative or positive opinion, negative opinion, and modalities. In affirmative or positive opinion, the opinion which declares a state of something. Then, the negative opinion, the repeal that opinion which clearly explains the absence of anything else on the nature of things. And modalities, that opinion stating opinion, the possibility of something on the nature of things. Another processes of thought is conclusion, withdrawal, or establishment decision. The decision is the result of the act. Makes sense to form a new opinion based on the opinions that already exist. In the conclusion, withdrawal, or establishment decision, we have three kinds. First, inductive inference. The decisions taken from opinion toward a particular public opinion. Another one is deductive conclusions. Deductive decision drawn from the general to the specific. So in contrast to inductive decision. The last one is conclusion, analogical. The decision is a decision that analogical obtained by comparing or customized with a specific opinions that already exist. Now, in order to simplify the problem, we have the so-called heuristic that helps to simplify the problem, influenced by past experience. So there are four heuristic methods. First is hill climbing, sub-goals, mean and analysis, and working backward. So what is hill climbing? A heuristic strategy in which each step is concerned to move closer to its final destination. Then, the sub-goals, methods of solving a problem by making it smaller or in pieces everywhere. Respective aims to simplify the solution. How about the mean and analysis? Mean and analysis, a heuristic strategy that will target to reduce difference between the situation with the desired objectives through the intermediary of a way. And the last one, the last method, working backward. A heuristic strategy where we have to move backwards from our goal in some circumstances. Thinking function involves, first, interpretation problems. Interpretation problems known also by defining the problem by way of creative thinking. And another one is problem-solving strategy. Make a selection of the best problem-solving strategies. Problem-solving strategies are often used. 1. Trial and error. In trial and error, trying to resolve, if one tried to repeat, it will know where lies the fault. Another problem-solving strategies is informational retrieval. Retrieve the information for solving problems quickly. So this is a long-term memory. Next is algorithm. That is a problem-solving method that guarantees a solution if the problem of available opportunities for someone to develop it. So there are three modes of thinking. Further, it is not a huge leap to say that the ability and tendency to think critically and carefully and creatively supersedes content knowledge in importance. But that's a discussion for another day. In general, it is our position that critical thinking is of huge importance for students, and as such is a big part of our content and mission at Teach Tough. There are three modes of thinking. We have the so-called divergent thinking. Divergent thinking is a thought process or method used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. It is often used in conjunction with its cognitive colleague, convergent thinking, which follows a particular set of logical steps to arrive at one solution, which in some cases is a correct solution. By contrast, divergent thinking typically occurs in a spontaneous, free-flowing. By contrast, divergent thinking typically occurs in a free-flowing nonlinear manner, such that many ideas are generated in an emergent cognitive fashion. Many possible solutions are explored in a short amount of time, and unexpected connections are drawn. After the process of divergent thinking has been completed, ideas and information are organized and structured using convergent thinking. Next is convergent thinking. Convergent thinking is often used in conjunction with divergent thinking. Convergent thinking is the type of thinking that focuses on coming up with the single, well-established answer to a problem. Convergent thinking is used as a tool in creative problem solving. When an individual is using critical thinking to solve a problem, they consciously use standards or probabilities to make judgments. This contrasts with divergent thinking, where judgment is deeper while looking for and accepting many possible solutions. The last modes of thinking is lateral thinking. Lateral thinking is solving problems through an indirect and creative approach, using reasoning that is not immediately of use and involving ideas that may not be obtainable by using only traditional step-by-step logic. To understand lateral thinking, it is necessary to compare lateral thinking and critical thinking. Critical thinking is primarily concerned with judging the truth, value of statements, and seeking errors. Lateral thinking is more concerned with the movement value of statements and ideas. A person uses lateral thinking to move from one known idea to creating new ideas. So, reasoning is the ability to assess things rationally by applying logic based on new or existing information when making a decision or solving a problem. Reasoning also allows you to weigh the benefits and disadvantages of two or more courses of action before choosing the one with most benefit or the one that suits your needs. It also helps you solve problems, handle uncertainty, verify claims, and assess situations carefully to ensure the decision you make is in your best interest. Okay. So next is the types of reasoning. The ability to reason is an important skill for anyone seeking to succeed in their career and is an important leadership quality. Understanding the different types of reasoning and how to apply them can help you excel as a professional, contribute meaningfully at work, and gain the respect of your superiors. Now, in this article, we discuss the concept of reasoning, the 7 types of reasoning, and when to use each one. Reasoning is the ability to assess things rationally by applying logic based on new or existing information when making a decision or solving a problem. Reasoning allows you to weigh the benefits and disadvantages of two or more courses of action before choosing the one with the most benefit or the one that suits your needs. You can find formal reasoning in established disciplines such as mathematics, logic, artificial intelligence, and philosophy throughout all circumstances. However, you can categorize reasoning into 7 basic types. Understanding the types of reasoning can help you evaluate and advance your decision making process. Now, here are 7 types of reasoning. First, deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is a type of reasoning that uses formal logic and observations to prove a theory or hypothesis. In deductive reasoning, you start with an assumption and then make observations or rational thoughts to validate or refute the assumption. You can use deductive reasoning to apply a general law to a specific case or test an induction. The results of deductive reasoning typically have a logical certainty. For example, a marketing division evaluates data and reaffirms that their company's biggest demographic is young parents. Based on the information, they decide to allocate more of the marketing budget to social media platforms that target the group. Okay. Another types of reasoning is inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning uses theories and assumptions to validate observations. In some ways, it's the opposite of deductive reasoning, as it involves reasoning from a specific case or cases to derive a general rule. The results of inductive reasoning are not always certain because it uses conclusions from observations to make generalizations. Inductive reasoning is helpful for extrapolation, predictions, and part-to-whole arguments. For instance, a kindergarten teacher has struggled to hold the attention of her class throughout the morning. She tries adding an extra 5-minute activity break 1 hour after school starts. After a week of mood improvements and attention gains, she decides to permanently add the extra activity break. Next is analogical reasoning. Analogical reasoning is a form of thinking that finds similarities between two or more things and then uses those characteristics to find other qualities common to them. It's based on the brain's tendency to notice patterns and make associations. Once the brain recognizes a pattern, it can associate the pattern with specific things, and this leads to analogous reasoning. Analogous thinking can help you expand your understanding by looking for similarities between different things. A supermarket has served as an analogical source for many businesses. When planning a new business, evaluating how to serve customers better, or planning a new line, many business strategists reach for a supermarket analogy to ask if they can provide everything a customer may need when shopping for items in their category. Next is abductive reasoning. Abductive reasoning is a type of reasoning that uses an observation or set of observations to reach a logical conclusions. It's similar to inductive reasoning. However, abductive reasoning permits making best quizzes to arrive at the simplest conclusions. Abduction has application in troubleshooting and decision making, especially when dealing with uncertainties. Abductive reasoning is especially useful when explaining an observation or phenomenon that the observer has very little or no existing knowledge about. The conclusion of abductive reasoning may not always be certain and may require further verification. For example, salespeople may use this type of reasoning when they receive a short correspondence from a client, asking them to reply quickly about an issue. When the client doesn't give enough information to understand before responding, a salesperson can use abductive reasoning to narrow down possible concerns. It's sometimes better to prepare answers for a few best quizzes. Another is the cause and effect reasoning. Cause and effect reasoning is a type of thinking in which you show the linkage between two events. This reasoning is used to explain what may happen if an action takes place or why things happen when some conditions are present. This type of reasoning commonly guides everyday decision making. In cases where people draw on personal experience, and a desire to improve. Businesses and professionals also use prediction and forecast modeling. This type of reasoning can help people trust your arguments, especially if you are accurate most of the time. For instance, a marketing agency may use cause and effect reasoning to prove the value of their campaigns and request an increase in budget. They may show how in the first year they launch an advertising campaign for a product line before Christmas and the product sales increased by 10%. The following year, they increased the advertising budget 15% and the product sales increased 25%. Therefore, with a budget increase of 20%, they are expecting a sales increase of 30%. Another types of reasoning is critical thinking. Critical thinking involves extensive rational thought about a specific subject in order to come to a definitive conclusion. It's helpful in fields such as computing, engineering, social sciences, and logic. Critical thinking plays a vital role in problem solving, especially when troubleshooting technical issues. It's used to assess the authenticity of works of art, literature, films, and other artistic expressions. Critical thinking also plays a vital role in mental and emotional matters, gray areas, and other fields that deal with subjects less understood. For example, the general manager of a family restaurant hears that a bakery important to their supply chain is about to go on strike. They order extra baked goods to freeze and then plan a distributor they can use during the strike. The last types of reasoning is decompositional reasoning. Decompositional reasoning is the process of breaking things into constituent parts to understand the function of each component and how it contributes to the operation of the item as a whole. By analyzing each part independently, decompositional reasoning allows an observer to draw powerful conclusions about the whole. You find this approach several disciplines including science, engineering, marketing, product development, game development, and software development. Project management utilizes decompositional reasoning in each division of a project into components. A manager assigns each component to an individual who is responsible for completion and communication about integration into the project. This division ensures the success of each component and contributes to the operation of the whole. Tanda mo pa yun. Wala tayong summary. No. Now, to sum up our discussion today, thinking and reasoning provides a detailed, integrated, and approachable treatment of this area of cognitive psychology and is ideal reading for intermediate and advanced undergraduate students, indeed for anyone interested in how we draw conclusions and make choices. Thinking and reasoning are two mental processes between which a key difference can be discerned. Thinking encapsulates a large arena of thought production that can be either conscious or unconscious. On the contrary, reasoning is limited to the conscious production of mental thought with the use of logic. Reasoning is used not only when we want to solve an immediate problem, but also when we anticipate future problems. Reasoning plays a significant role in one's adjustment to the environment. It not only determines one's cognitive activities but also influences the behavior and personality. Thank you for your listening. God bless everyone.